the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things.
Well, his acting resume really reads like an award show in and of itself. And now he's stepping away from Broadway and he's coming in with his own holiday show into Cincinnati. It'll be at the Aronoff Center December 3rd and 4th. Norm Lewis and Naughty and Nice. Norm, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
So we will talk about the show Naughty and Nice in just a little bit. But first, I just want to ask you, how does it feel to be back performing?
It's been amazing because of the fact that, we've for so long, we were doing things like this and I was singing into a computer and, we were trying to figure it out because, this hit us so hard this past, 18, 20 months now. And, but to feel the excitement that is coming from the audience, that's what we as performers feed off of, because the thing is, they are there, you are there to actually see something live and to feel the energy of what we're presenting. And so it was just a combustion of that just exploded when I first did it, came back into the fray of live performance.
So what did you do besides singing into a computer? What did you do over those months?
Gosh, it was mainly that. I did a lot of research on entrepreneurship and multiple streams of income. So that's going to be coming down the line. I have something that's going to come out next year about that, and seeing yourself as an entrepreneur, as an actor as well. Also, we created a organization called Black Theater United. Once we saw the tragedies that happened back to back, that no one could ignore. And so we wanted to have a voice in that. And many different industries had something to say. So we wanted to be represented that way as well. And so there's 19 of us that got together and we have worked with theater owners, producers, unions to talk about diversity and equity in our industry. And it's been a wonderful conversation. Some rough, some not so rough, and a lot of coming together.
And probably a conversation that was long overdue as well. Wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, as I mentioned, the show is Naughty and Nice. It'll be at the Aronoff, and it's part of ArtsWave's Flow Performance series, and it's celebrating Black artists. Tell us a little bit about this show.
Well, my show basically is a party. I don't like to even call it a show or a concert or anything. I just invite people over to my house and in my living room, and you get some food and you get some drinks and we can sing. And I want people to dance. I want people to talk to me. I want people just to have a really, really good time because that's what I'm going to have on that stage. And so I want to give that to the audience. It's Christmas songs, it's Broadway songs, American standards, things like that. And, familiar songs. And then some that might not be so familiar.
I mentioned that this was part of the ArtsWave's Flow Performance celebrating Black artists. How important do you think it is to put the spotlight on Black artists?
Well, it is very important to be represented and to see oneself on that stage. Like for me, just to give you an example, I coveted the role of the Phantom for 20 years. Knowing that Robert Guillaume was someone that did the role, African-American that did the role in Los Angeles, and I stand on his shoulders, but I never thought that, I thought it was going to be more of a challenge because I thought you had to be a superstar like him in order to get those opportunities. But I kept saying in interviews and I kept coveting, I want this role. I would love to be a part of this. I want to be, have the audition. And finally it came to fruition. So me having the title of the first African-American to play the role on Broadway is great. But what's bigger than that for me is that I would meet people after the show who were from Brazil, from China, from Japan, from India, saying, now I feel like I could do this. And if I can be that, that for them, then I accept that wholeheartedly.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
You mentioned some of the roles that you've had. I mean, it goes back to Tommy and Miss Saigon and Chicago and Les Mis, along with Phantom, The Music Man. I mean, some of the classics. I won't ask you which is your favorite because that's like, which kid is your favorite. But
exactly.
I will ask you, which role do you think was the most transformative for your career and maybe for your life?
Oh, wow. That's a great one. It's one that actually is not well known. But I think what put me on the radar was a character by the name of Jake in a show called Sideshow. It didn't last that long on Broadway, but we did do an album, and then it's had a life for 20 some odd years now in the regional theater. It did make a revisit to Broadway a couple of years ago. They changed the show up a little bit, but it still had that powerful impact. But I would say that role was the one that people kept saying, I like this guy. Let's see more of him.
That's great. And of course, Scandal. Oh my word,
Yeah.
Scandal. How fun was that?
That was so much fun. It came out of nowhere. I was doing Porgy and Bess on Broadway, and I got a call from the producers to go in and audition. Little did I know that it was not just an audition, it was more of a screen test, because I was the only person that showed up. And I said, this is really weird. And I didn't know. And they kept me in there for about 2 hours. But what was wonderful, I have to give kudos to our producers at Porgy and Bess. We still had about 7 weeks left before the show was going to close. And they allowed me to fly out to Los Angeles on a Sunday after every matinee, and then stay as long as they needed me, and then I would fly back and do Porgy and Bess. So for 7 weeks, I was starring on a show on Broadway and was a recurring character in a lead hit TV show. So
I hope you can sleep on airplanes.
I can. Yes. Yes.
Final question is just kind of an overall look at Broadway. Broadway, of course, was dark for so long. Now it's back. What does this mean, not just for Broadway, but maybe for New York, putting some life back into New York?
Well, it's very interesting. That's a great question, because it was such an excitement. It's such a, I think everybody was ready. Like we were talking earlier about getting back to see live theater, and the excitement was there. Everything was going really, really well. And it still is, especially for the bigger shows, Wicked and Hamilton and stuff. I'm currently in a show called Chicken and Biscuits, and we were doing very well. We actually had great reviews, but it tragically, the houses got a little smaller because we don't have the tourists. And we thrive on tourists. We have visitors right now. We don't have tourists like we need. And unfortunately, there were a couple of cases of COVID that happened in our company. So that has put a financial burden on the show. And so we've had to close early. And but we had a great time. I think it'll have a life after this. But to answer your question more and deeply, I think that people are ready. It's a new normal now, and we have to go through the protocols, but I think it'll work. I think we can make this work.
Well, and maybe this holiday season, maybe tourism will slowly come back and people will feel more comfortable.
I think so too.
Baby steps. That's what we're taking right now.
Exactly.
Well, his show is called Naughty and Nice, and it's going to be something that's going to put you in the holiday spirit. December 3rd and 4th at the Aronoff. You can go to artswave.org/Norm. There he is. What, did you shoot that in July? Did they have to put the...
No, I did this a couple of years ago, but it's an album. It actually is an album. It's on vinyl, and I also have a CD, but I thought I'd put it on because everybody's going retro right now. So anyway, sorry, selfless plug.
Hey, I don't blame you. I love vinyl. That's what I do on Saturdays is I search for vinyl. So Norm Lewis, we cannot wait for this. Thank you so much for being with us, and best of luck not only with this show, but down the road.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.